I have a great pleasure to be in India. I want to say that I'm not coming to India not only for business, I'm coming also often for personal leisure trips with my wife and daughters. And we not only go in ITC types hotel, but we went through villages. We slept in tents. I'm not talking about when I was a student. I was talking a few years ago in India, and then we trekked the Tamil Nadu border with Kerala. We went down the Ganga and sleep in the villages. I'm not telling that to tell my life, but I'm saying that because when the minister this morning talked about bringing energy to the villages in India, it speaks to me because I've been in these villages. I've seen these people, and I think it's a great endeavor to knowing the humanity and variety to bring energy to them. It's a task we have to achieve, you have to achieve, and I think it's a really good priority for the country. I just introduced our company, which is IFP EN Downstream Industrial Affiliate. IFP is doing the research for us. We're one of the major players in licensing technology, producing catalysts in the world. We're heavily involved in refining, in petrochemical, in gas. I'm not going too much to talk of this in this morning. We also largely present in India through offices, design office in Delhi, in Mumbai. We have also a manufacturing plant for process equipment, furnaces in Vadodara, and we have also catalyst regeneration plant in Gujarat. So we have many activity with Indian companies throughout the years, and India means a lot to us. Talking about the energy supply in the future, I want to make a few introductory points. On this graph, you see the evolution of the oil output throughout the years. The first thing we have to understand is that the oil growth in the future will be driven by petrochemical worldwide. Today, petrochemical is maybe representing 15%, 1/5 of the oil output. It is predicted by the various agencies that in 2040, it will almost double. And if the fossil fuels may decline to some extent, this will be, in terms of output, replaced by petrochemicals. So oil will remain very important. Maybe the mix of usage will change. Petrochemical will grow much faster pace than GDP. And in this country, I think it will grow even faster. I'm not talking about gas. It was presented as a new renewable by Mr. Prabhat Singh this morning. I think he's right. Gas is very important. But I will talk about fuels. I will talk about clean fuels and talk about biofuels. But before I do that, I want to make a word on fuel and fossil fuels and electrical vehicles. I think fossil fuels will remain for long in some application. I don't see I will see a commercial plane fly with anything other than jet fuel. I think in the maritime transportation, oil, gas will remain key to move the ships. Even for the diesel, half of the diesel today is consumed by trucks in the world. It is very difficult to imagine to have truck motorized by EV, by electrical motor. If you think that the Tesla S, the new one, the weight is 2.6 metric ton, in which 1 metric ton of battery. So you realize that to move a truck with electrical engine, it will be a very, very big challenge. But not only that, I want also to say that I believe personally that the best way to reduce carbon emission is to use, in the short term at least, high-efficient thermal injection engines. New engines now, they consume around 5 liters by 100 kilometers. If you mix fossil fuel with a little bit of renewable, I think in most of the cases in the energy mix of the world, it is much less emitting than electrical vehicle. To have an electrical vehicle emitting on a life cycle analysis less green gas than the vehicle I'm just describing, you have to be maybe in a country like France where all the energy is coming from nuclear and a little bit of renewable. But if you are in Germany, if you are in India, if you are in many other countries, if you use electrical vehicle, right now you will produce more greenhouse gas overall than if you use an efficient combustion injection engine. So this is something also we all scientists, there are a lot of scientists and engineers in India, and we have to keep that in mind when we make projections and scenario of the future. This being said, one of the challenge the industry has to face with thermal engines, and not only with engines, it's also with the industry. We all talk about global warming, but I think one also very important point is pollution. Pollution is currently the fourth higher factor for deaths in the world. Pollution in the cities in particular. Pollution is coming from the industry. It's coming also from transportation. And we have to fight pollution. It's a priority. You see on that left chart, it is EU 28 emissions of various pollutants like SO2, particulate matter, NOx, and volatile organic compound. You see that in the last 25 years, significant progress has been done on most of the pollutants. Sulfur dioxide emission have been divided by 7, NOx and volatile organic compound by 2. Still, particulate matter, the yellow upper one, didn't progress that much. That is one of the reasons you have the Dieselgate and now a kind of disaffection for passenger car of the diesel engine in favor of a gasoline engine. But still a lot of progress have been done and remains to be done in Europe, but also, of course, in other countries in the world. Transportation is contributing to these emissions for its share. 13% of the sulfur dioxide emission coming from transport, 55% of NOx coming from transport. So there is a big challenge in addressing this issue in the transportation. And our company is one of the leaders in producing fuels, what we call clean fuels, which are hydrocarbon fuels, but completely desulfurized and taken out of pollutant. So maybe I should speak in French sometime, it would be easier for me. But precursors, I think we say in English, of pollutants. We've been, through our technologies developed with IFP, desulfurizing 20% of the gasoline and diesel in the world, and 50% of the SO2 emission that are generated throughout the industry use our catalyst to be transformed in solid sulfur. So we heavily involved in the pollution and decreased pollution fight. And coming to transportation, in most of the countries in the world, there is a shift toward low sulfur fuels, not only for diesel, gasoline, and now it's also for the bunker fuel. You've seen on the right chart above, by 2020, almost the entire world will have on-road and gasoline low sulfur fuel available. It is the case in India. It's already the case in Delhi, by the way, almost, and will be the case in 2020. And our company is working a lot with the Indian refining industry to desulfurize gasoline and diesel. We have 14 projects underway that would be started in the coming months or next year. for gasoline, and total 20 projects also for diesel in the various Indian refineries. So we have a great collaboration in this field to be able to provide to the country new types of hydrocarbon. And I think I finished my time almost, but so I'll be rather quick. On the next topic, which is biofuels, you see here the consumption of biofuels. We talk about second generation biofuels. It is expected to be multiplied by a factor of 25 in the next 5 years. Still, it will represent only lower than 1 million barrels per day. So you see, we consume 100 million barrels per day overall, so it's 1%. So it means that we still need fossil fuel, but still, these fuels is a good way to decrease carbon emission. It's also a good way to develop, to give jobs to farmers in the country. Because of time, I'm going to switch that one. In most of the country in the world, there are mandates to go for incorporation of biofuels in the pools. In India, it is also the case. By 2017, the government has set goals of E20, so mean 20% ethanol, and B5, 5% biodiesel by 2030 in the pool. So there will be a major effort in the country, and is right now projects underway to produce up to 1 billion liter ethanol in India. In almost each company has several projects. Our company in France has been also involved a lot in the development of such technology. This is an example. France oil market is no more growing. France is a mature market. Everybody has 1 or 2 cars. Each family has 1 or 2 cars, so it's not similar to India. So some of the refineries are converted to biofuel. This is the example of Total La Mède refinery. Will finish processing fuels, fossil fuel, and be converted to biofuel by the end of the year. So a lot of projects are underway. These are examples of ethanol project we developed in France. So this is the demonstration unit. You see on the kind of pyramid. This is a cellulosic material, and later on convert to gasoline, to ethanol. On the right is a different technology to produce with such material biodiesel. So my conclusion would be that energy transition is a world effort. It needs a lot of collaboration. And we need to succeed in that transition together. Is not only Indian effort, French effort, US effort, whatever, it's a world effort. So I'm looking forward to continue our successful collaboration in these new fields with the Indian company, which I think it's a major priority for the country. Thank you.